He knew he needed enough support to take on the mastermind behind the Purple City Rebellion. Meanwhile, 2 cars were parked outside the Langford residence, one behind the other. Lana, looking exhausted, lounged in the back seat. A cigarette in hand, lit but untouched. She let the breeze extinguish it slowly, her mind wandering. Dustin had been inside the Langford residence for almost 2 hours, and there was no sign of activity. Did something go wrong? Ethan's earlier actions were surprising, but it might have been all a show for outsiders. Once inside the Langford residence, with no witnesses, he could easily deal with anyone. As Lana contemplated this, she couldn't shake an unsettling feeling of unease. She couldn't understand why she was so concerned about Dustin, someone she had just met. Was it merely because of his striking appearance and unique personality? Suddenly, a car pulled up in front of them, and the windows rolled down to reveal Cody and Harper. "Still waiting here, Ms. Cameron? You should head back and get some rest," Cody said with a smirk. "Dustin is pretty bold, walking into the lion's den. I'd bet he's met his end, and we won't even find his body." Lana shot back. You said the same thing earlier, but what happened then?" He walked out of the golden balcony unscathed. "Golden balcony can't compare to the Langford residence." Cody sneered. "This place is swarming with tough guys. Once Dustin steps in, it's game over. Don't be fooled by Mr. Ethan's polite act, it's all a cover." "That's right. Dustin gave Hugo a beating, and now he's dead meat. Your little boy toy won't make it out alive." Harper gloated. Lana furrowed her brow but kept her response to herself. Out of nowhere, a figure approached Cody's car and lightly knocked on the window, startling Harper and Cody. Dustin had somehow appeared outside their car, smiling at them mysteriously. His gleaming white teeth, illuminated by the moonlight, seemed intimidating. "Yoyuri not dead?" Harper stared wide-eyed in disbelief. Cody, too, looked like he'd seen a ghost. He wondered, what's going on? Dustin caused chaos at the golden balcony and assaulted Hugo. Why would the Langford family let him go? Dustin smirked. "Disappointed that I'm still alive?" Cody cautiously asked, "How did you escape the Langford family's clutches?" Dustin replied casually, "What could they do to me? It was Hugo who was overbearing and abusive, abusing his power. I was just seeking justice. Luckily, Mr. Ethan is rational. He gave Hugo a harsh lesson after learning the truth." Cody and Harper both chimed in, and then, Dustin shrugged. "He invited us for tea, apologized, and compensated us for the trouble. Then he had us escorted out. That's it." Cody and Harper had wide eyes in disbelief. Just like that, Dustin replied with indifference. The two exchanged puzzled glances. When did Ethan become so generous? Hugo and his men got beaten up, and instead of seeking revenge, Ethan treated Dustin politely and even compensated him for their troubles. Could there be something off about Ethan's judgment? Harper and Cody exchanged bewildered glances, completely thrown off by Ethan's strange behavior. They silently questioned, is it really wise to respond to hostility with kindness? Are those high society types really willing to risk their honor? Dustin smiled faintly. "I've patched things up with the Langford family. Let's put our issues on the table." Harper and Cody couldn't help but notice that Dustin's smile seemed rather insincere. Cody tried to lighten the mood. "Dustin, this mess isn't my doing. I'm a victim here, too. I've been waiting by the door, worried about your safety." But deep down, he couldn't help but think, this guy's nuts. He even dared to face off with Hugo. "I'd be in for trouble if I crossed him." Dustin added, "We can deal with our stuff later. Right now, I need to talk to her." He pointed toward Harper through the car window. Growing anxious, Harper urged, "Cody, let's get out of here, now." "You want to run?" Maximus snorted. He punched through the car window. Then, he forcefully yanked the steering wheel and sent it flying and crashing into the Langford residence wall. Cody stared at his now wheelless car, nearly in tears. He muttered, "My brand new car." Harper was equally stunned and struggled for words. She wonders if anyone could really tear off a steering wheel like that. With a stern expression, Dustin turned to Harper. "Harper, I rarely resort to violence against women, but your actions tonight have been infuriating. You lured me out with a phone call, only to spring a trap with Cody. I might be dead now if it weren't for my luck. Harper, not one to back down, retorted, "Why blame me? I have done nothing wrong." "It's your fault," Dustin sneered in response. "My fault. Someone like you defies reason, and I'm not here to argue. I just want to know one thing. What's the story behind Mr. Schaffer? If you tell me the truth, I can pretend nothing happened." Harper, trying to be difficult, turned her head away and challenged, "Why should I tell you?" Dustin replied with a cool smile, "If you don't, I'll make you disappear from the face of the earth." Harper threatened, How dare you? I'm not someone to mess with. Lay a finger on me, and you'll regret it." Dustin turned to Maximus and calmly instructed, "Show her what we're capable of." "Sure thing." Maximus grinned widely, reaching inside to grab Harper's hair and forcefully drag her out of the car. "Ah, let go. Let go." Harper struggled and screamed but couldn't escape Maximus' firm grip. With a sinister smile, Dustin took out a green bottle. He held it in front of Harper and said, "I've got a bottle of poison that can make your skin ulcerate, your muscles rot, and ensure they never recover. Think about the consequences if it spills on your face." Panicking, Harper exclaimed, "Reese, don't do anything rash. I'm Dr. Bush's granddaughter." Seeing Dustin's lack of response, she immediately turned to Cody for help. "Cody, help me, please." Cody wanted to say something but, with one stern, silent glance from Dustin, held his tongue. He couldn't help but think, Dustin is too ruthless. Don't pick a fight you can't handle. Think fast. If you don't spill the beans, I'm going to use this poison for your extreme makeover. As he spoke, Dustin unscrewed the bottle. He held it threateningly over Harper's head. "No, please, don't mess up my face." Harper's legs turned to jelly as tears streamed down his face. She pleaded, Okay, I'll talk. Just put that thing away. It would have been easier if you'd started with that, Dustin said, putting the bottle away. After all, someone like Harper never changed unless she was backed against the wall. Harper gasped for air and composed herself. In a shaky voice, she began. The story about Cinna goes back a few years. One day, a stranger suddenly showed up at our door and chatted with my grandpa. I overheard a bit through the door. It turns out this stranger is the one who saved Cinna 10 years ago. Wait, wasn't it Dr. Bush who saved Mr. Schaffer? Dustin interjected. This stranger brought the critically injured Cinna to Harmony Healers. So, my grandpa treated him. What's more, this stranger would drop by occasionally to secretly check Cinna's condition, Harper clarified. So, who is this stranger? Dustin's expression turned serious. He'd always thought Brooke saved Cinna, but it seemed there was more to the story. I don't know, Harper shook her head. I've never seen the stranger's face directly. Whenever he visited, my grandpa told me to go somewhere else. I was just curious that day, so I eavesdropped. And what did you hear? Dustin inquired. I overheard this stranger telling my grandpa that Cinna's identity had to be protected at all costs. If anyone comes looking for Cinna, my grandpa should inform this stranger immediately to avoid any unexpected trouble, Harper replied. Dustin furrowed his brow upon hearing this. It was clear that Brooke was keeping a secret or hadn't completely trusted Dustin yet. The pressing question now was who this mysterious person was. He'd saved Cinna, brought him to Brooke for treatment, and was taking serious precautions. Dustin had a gut feeling that finding this mysterious person would uncover the truth about the events from years ago. Is there any more information? Dustin asked again. Oh, yeah. I remember my grandpa referring to this person as Mr. Judd. Harper suddenly remembered. Mr. Judd. Dustin pondered. As far as he knew, there was neither a prominent Judd family in Oakvale nor any high-ranking officials with the Judd surname. So, who was this, Mr. Judd?